one pod has 6. All right, and we're going to stick around for tomorrow. We'll have some more books tomorrow for more of the sin. So our next up is Cultural Guide Training with Leigh Lubin. So Leigh's going up.
Hello again. So again, my name is Leigh Lubin. I realize apparently I don't think titles are very important. I'm the Marine Education Specialist for Alaska Sea Grant. So a tiny bit about me is I came from the suburbs of Los Angeles a long time ago. 2000 was my first visit to Alaska. 2003 was permanent. And where became permanent home was Valdez, Alaska. And that just gives you a little glimpse of who I am. I'm not going to talk about it because save you guys some time. So first we'll take another minute to arrive. So notice what parts of your body are supported. Also notice the spelling error. So notice what parts of your body are supported by the floor or the chair or the armchairs. Notice any sounds you hear. Notice any shapes, colors, or textures that you see. And then notice that you are breathing. You might also notice that you feel a tiny bit different after that break of getting a ton of wonderful information. So welcome. We're here in Whittier, which was a historic trading place between the Sugpiaq and the Dena'ina people. So an overview of the presentation is that we're going to do an activity to touch on a few major concepts and to get you guys up and moving and speaking to each other. And note on that, if you don't want to participate, it is optional. You do not have to. And then we'll talk a little bit about why a cultural connections guide training is needed. I'll give you a very small overview of the training, and then next steps for the training process and questions. So there's more people here. I didn't get to come last year, and we've grown. So some of you will either just get to relax, or you can join a partner. Does someone want to give out cards? So the cards are going to be distributed, and you're going to find, once they're all distributed, we'll find groups of 4 to 6 people. If you don't have a card, you can join any group. And the groups are kind of categorized by topic. So one is a sea otter, one is whale, one is Alaska Native languages, one is Alaska Native cultures, and one is laws and subsistence. So this is your opportunity, whether you like it or not. If you don't want to get up and walk around, please give your card to someone else. So you will be physically standing up, finding your group in the room, and then once I see that happens, then I'll give you the next task. Yeah, there's an activity for online people. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and for those of you online, there should be 2 activities in the chat for you to do during this time, I think. So I see some groups are forming, so the directions are going to be up on the board too. First, when you find your group, you'll all introduce yourselves and talk about where you currently live. And then you'll decide which concept your phrases best illustrates. So you'll all share your phrases, and then you'll decide if your group looks more at sharing the full story or that word choice matters. So there's a sea otter group, a whale group, Alaska Native Cultures group, an Alaska Native Languages group, and a laws and subsistence group. Okay, once you're in your group, you can all read your cards so that everyone knows what they all say. And then if you didn't have a card but want to participate, you are welcome to get up and join a group. Okay, so once you've decided if you are sharing the full story or word choice matters, you have a different task for your group. If you're sharing the full story, decide what info you would share and the order you'd share it in. And if your word choice matters, you're going to decide which would be the best to share or come up with a combined version. Someone from your group will be sharing this out. I'm going to pretend you guys are all hearing me. I think you are, but the direction is on the screen. And so I know when your group is complete, I know you're still working, but just to manage this, so when your group is complete, you guys can go back, nominate someone that's going to share it with the group, and then you can go back to your seats. So that I know that if you're still working, that's fine, but that's how I'll know, because it's hard to tell. Some of the groups have 4, some of the groups have 6, some of them have 5. So if no one else is there, just assume you have your whole group. So if you missed the other slide, you either have a grouping that illustrates sharing how important it is to share the full story, or a group that emphasizes how important your word choice is. So you're not doing both of these. Your group is choosing one of these. Either decide what info you would share and the order you'd share it in. That's leaning more towards sharing how important it is to share the whole story. And if you think that you're all just saying similar things, you might be choosing that word choice matters. I'm going to give you a deadline and say finish within 1 minute. And if you're feeling excessively challenged, it's okay. I'm getting the hint, and I can summarize it, and your group can have no tasks. So you guys can finish what you need to in the next 15 seconds, and then I'm sensing that this might be more brain capacity than is possible at this time of the day. So people can, I'm sure you got something from your group. I'll summarize it if you all want to go back to finish whatever conversations in the next 10 seconds, and then go back to your seats, or choose to stay standing. Okay. So I'll go ahead. Did any group have the brain power and want to share theirs, or am I taking over from here? I'll give a second if any group wants to share theirs. Okay. You can, yes. Would you like to share it? Okay. Do we have a microphone?
Certainly.
Thank you.
So our group put together a story from the various cards, which we decided was a very linear and logical story. But this is a story about whalers. The whalers had a long, hard, but successful hunt. The whale gave itself to the people, knowing all of itself would be useful. They killed the whale, and they harvested the whale.
Thank you.
And that is the story.
Thank you. You can give that back. Did any other groups want to share theirs? Go ahead.
Here, I'm halfway. So, ours was around Alaskan Native languages. For the order that we put it in, basically where things are a little while ago, and then further back, and then to present. This is kind of our progression. So, boarding schools often punish students for speaking their native language. In recent history, parents sometimes encourage their children not to speak native languages to avoid racial persecution. There are at least 20 native languages in 4 family groups spoken. Alaska native languages continue to evolve with new words for modern items and technology, including things like names for plankton species and modern technologies. Alaska native languages have few fluent speakers left. With help from elders, there are successful efforts to preserve Alaska native languages.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to share?
Alrighty, I was with a group of 4, maybe 5 or 6, but it was Alaska Native cultures, so we just ended up with going with one card. And it says Alaska Native cultures are living cultures that continue to adapt and evolve.
Wonderful. Thank you. So you can, thank you.
Well, we were the otter group, and we should have known better about being otters. But anyway, we talked about the wording placed on harvesting otters, and we came up with the one that make most sense to us was the sea otter gave itself to her yesterday. So the harvester, I guess, the otter presented itself to the harvester rather than the harvester inflicting damage on the otter. So that was our thought of this made the most sense.
And for perspective, the other choices they had were things like she hunted the otter, she killed the otter. I even put she caught the otter because I thought, we only use caught for fish. We don't use that for other animals usually when we harvest them. Very interesting because what I thought was sharing the story, sharing the full story or word choice matters is different than what you all chose. But it just illustrates that if you only said one piece of Alaska Native languages, like there are very few fluent languages, Alaska Native fluent speakers left, that wouldn't give you the full story. And that would give you this idea that something was gone or almost gone without any idea of why it was gone or if it was coming back. And so those were some ideas to illustrate because I would prefer you to think about it and think what you think instead of me just telling you things, which is a lot about how the training is. It's an online training. So there's 3 concepts. We didn't have a chance. You saw I just went through a bunch of slides just to keep us on time. Word choice matters. Just as this gentleman, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, pointed out that saying the sea otter gave itself to the woman as opposed to she killed it creates a totally different environment in yourself and in the room and in what you're talking about. We didn't get to do the one step where you would have shared something you knew about Sukpiaq or Dena'ina people and then shared how you learned it. A big concept in sharing Alaska Native cultures when you're not Alaska Native is giving credit to the source and credit to how much information you have. For example, I've only been in the state for a month. I haven't even met an Alaska Native yet. This is the information that I've learned online, or this is information that a story that I was personally told, and this is an idea. Giving, when you communicate, your clients are going to ask you about Alaska Native cultures, and by giving your clients the context of how much information you have, it really gives the clients, the visitors, an opportunity to understand. Let's see. It gives your clients an opportunity to gauge how valid that information is, or how broad it is, or how in-depth it is. And then sharing the whole story is important, and what you choose to say or not say matters. So even not saying something matters as much as if you say it or not. So Alaska Natives are part of the story of the land. So choosing not to speak about them is choosing not to tell part of the story of this place and to not give your visitors an opportunity to connect with the place fully. So the need for the cultural connections training came from industry needs. There was a listening session, and basically what happens is a lot of guides come from outside of Alaska and come here and have like 10 days to like learn logistics, learn safety, learn things. And it's like, here's clients, learn all the stuff you need to learn about Alaska on your own time after you just worked a 14-hour day. which is not a very good model. And so this cultural connections training, it takes about 2 to 4 hours. It's online, it's free. And the other reason for the cultural connections training is because it's very confusing to speak about a culture and not necessarily be part of that culture, and also know what's offensive and what's not, and how to navigate that line. So the confusion comes from that Alaska Native cultures are living, so things are changing all of the time. The names, the self-identifiers for Alaska Native people in the 25 years I've been in Alaska have shifted and are continuing to shift. So that makes it really confusing for people that are used to linear, solid, straightforward things. A quick example is how much culture in the United States has changed just over 200 years. I mean, you used to greet people from far away, and now people do fist bumps or kiss or hug or all sorts of different things. This is thanks to AI. If you're curious what AI can do for you, this is the kind of stuff AI can do for you. For Alaska Native cultures, they've got more like 15,000 or 25,000 years of evolving their culture and changing. And I chose pictures of the environment because Alaska Native cultures are very much shaped by the environment that they live in, because there is so much, they're so dependent on each other. Confusion about where to look, and then confusion about how to share respectfully. So these are reasons for the training. And Heather Reiss is a woman that helped me. Oh, the backstory of this is what is considered offensive. Yes, I know I am a white woman that created an Alaska Native Cultures Connections course. And so there can be a whole lot of things said about that. And this is the other woman that helped me do the course, Heather Reiss, and she did her thesis for her master's in Guiding the Narrative, Ethical Guide Training in Indigenous Representation in Alaska Tourism. The training has foundational understanding of Alaska Native cultures and gives you a resource list when you complete it. There's principles of privileging First Peoples perspectives, so it gives you all sorts of tips to make sure that you're doing, if you're not Alaska Native, that you're making sure that what you're saying is the best possible representation, and a lot of that has to do with finding Alaska Native sources to get your information and also sharing those directly first if you can. And it provides guardrails and checks and balances for how to know if you're off or being offensive or culturally appropriate, but it leaves the nuances and decisions up to you. So it's not a manual. And it's truly interactive. This is an example. If you would hit play, I hit play. No. Let's see if it works. Okay, it doesn't work. But this is a slider. This is the beginning of the training, and you can slide back and forth. And it starts off by looking at the different language groups and then the different ecoregions, and so that you can see them superimposed on each other and make your own judgments. A lot of the training is giving you information and giving you opportunity to make you think and place things in your head. And I know I'm over time, so we will go. The training has 4 aspects: diversity of Alaska Native people, which is an overview of the whole state. It's definitely more focused on South Central Alaska because that's where I live, and that's where a lot of tourism is as well. Resilience of Alaska Native cultures, celebrating culture, and then how to share respectfully. So we don't need to brag about what people said about it because of time. The next steps are to take any feedback. If you happen to do this training, please give me some feedback on what you need. Also, because if this training lands well in the guide community, there will be another layer added on of the basics of natural history interpretation. And there's a QR code for the training. And I don't know if I have time. I don't think I have time for questions. Questions? I don't know.
I have one quick question, Leigh. And forgive me if you mentioned this. How long does it take to complete the training?
Most people are doing it in 2 to 4 hours. And I am finding that Alaskans are doing it in like an hour 45, and people from outside the state, it looks like, are doing more like 6, which makes some sense if you've never been to Alaska and have no context, that it would be a little bit more confusing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leigh. Again, Liz, with the should know this. The Marine Education Specialist Alaska Sea Grant. So thanks a lot. That's just fascinating training, and I really appreciate Leigh coming and talking to us about it.